Welcome to Heat Check, powered by Defunct.com. This is a special edition of Heat Check where we're going to look at the last 3 years of Mosquitohead t-shirt sales. Let's get into it. But before we get into the list, the guys over at Defunct.com wanted me to extend an invitation to all of you to join their newly launched Discord server. There are giveaways going on right now. They're literally giving away vintage Star Wars t-shirts. They just had one, and it looks like another one's going off soon. So if you're watching this and you like Discord and you like vintage t-shirts, come on over to the Defunct.com Discord server. The invitation will be in the description below. Coming in at number 10, Mosquitohead t-shirts have something in common with 3D Emblem t-shirts, and that is that sometimes their t-shirts with Confederate flags on them sell for a lot of money. Here we have the Elvis Mosquitohead. This one was sold on my birthday, August 31st of 2021, and it sold for $13.99. Then at number 9, we have the Mosquitohead Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds t-shirt. This one's pretty cool. I do love the way this one's printed. Not a whole lot going on here in terms of like very Mosquitohead looking designs. It's a fairly held back a little bit. But this one, interestingly enough, sold just 3 days before the previous one, August 28th of 2021. And this one sold for $1,500. Then at number 8, we have a signed Mosquitohead Link Ray t-shirt. This could be, maybe you could argue that this shouldn't be here because it's signed and that makes it more of a memorabilia piece. Hard to say. Because these are old sales, I don't have the whole listing, so I can't look at all the photos. We only have one photo. So I don't actually see where he even signed it. But I'm going to argue that, yeah, it's signed, but oh well, it's part of the t-shirt now. So this one sold for $1,650 on September 25th, 2021. That 2021 pandemic era prices are definitely contributing here. At number 7, we have the vintage Marilyn Monroe Mosquitohead. This one's a famous one. We've got a lot of examples of this one selling. This is the highest selling one that we could find, but there's a lot of sales just below this, like $1,400. But this one sold for $1,700 on July 23rd, 2023, so not that long ago. Then at number 6, we have the vintage Frankenstein Mosquitohead. This one also has a lot of sales. This one's a very popular, highly in demand design. And remember, Mosquitohead t-shirts aren't always exactly the same. There's some variation. So when you go back and look at some of these other ones, there will be some variation to these, just depending on the print. But this one is one that's highly in demand, has many sales in the range of like 13 to what is here, the top of the line sale, the 1725 on May 29th, 2023. So clearly there's still some demand for this one. Then at number 5, we had the vintage Psychic TV. They were an experimental, like UK rock band. So this is obviously a pretty rare one right here. That sold on March 23rd of 2022. This one's pretty cool. Definitely got the Mosquitohead vibe all over it. And for such a sort of obscure band, definitely these are going to go for a lot of money. And this one certainly did. This one sold for $1,799.99. Then at number 4, a band that we were probably more familiar with, we have the Cramps. What's interesting about this one, this is sort of like a rare colorway. This t-shirt has sold in many other times and other colorways, but this sort of orange colorway does not come up very often. In fact, this is the only one I've ever seen sold in the last 3 years, on eBay at least. So this one is a little bit more rare. Pretty cool. Other ones that have the more common colorway, like I think it's like a green or a blue type of colorway, those I think sell for like 75% of what this sold for. Maybe a little bit less than that too. This one though sold for $2,025 on June 5th of 2022. At number 3, another band we're probably pretty familiar with, The Cure. This one, very valuable t-shirt. Kind of surprises me. Not that The Cure doesn't deserve it necessarily, but The Cure is a popular band, but not obscure like Psychic TV, and this one is not as rare as I think that Cramps one is either. This one does come up every once in a while. I've seen it sold a few times, but We have a $2,300 sale here on April 22nd of 2022. Then at number 2, these are probably the most popular and in demand and collectible mosquito heads, and these are their sitcom comedy t-shirts. Here we have the Martin HBO TV promo with Martin right there, Martin Lawrence right on the front. These are very rare and hard to come by. I think it's clear they were probably printed less. There is a famous Fire Marshal Bill from In Living Color that we have not ever seen a sale on, or not a confirmed sale on. And those were only given to like studio audiences. So some of these are probably also only given to studio audience type of stuff. So very few and limited in number. That's why this one went for $2,500 on January 13th of 2022. Now, before we get to number 1, if you're going to spend a fortune like on one of these t-shirts on this list, make sure that it's authentic by using the legitimate app in the description below. Use code LoopFan for 25% off your authentication. Then in the same vein, we have the Wanda Jamie Foxx in Living Color t-shirt. This one is iconic. This might be the most, in my opinion, one of the most iconic mosquito heads that are out there. Jamie Foxx's character, Wanda, was incredibly funny. And this t-shirt goes really hard. And you're just not going to... There are more of these than there are the Fire Marshal Bill. We do see these Wandas come up quite often. In fact, I think there are probably 3 or 4 of these sold in the last 3 years. Nothing quite comes to this particular sale. But they're all generally up there between like $1,800 and at $2,500. So speaking of $2,500, this one sold for $2,500 on January 5th of 2022 for the number 1 spot this week on this week's Heat Check.